very much a changed man that way. And so, there is a lot of sincerity in those words, not just, it's, politician or, Trump saying what he thinks he needs to say on the National Day of Prayer. No, there is absolute authenticity. There we go. To those words by the president. Now, I referenced the SCOTUS case and the non-existent separation of church and state. Well, some of the headlines that came out of yesterday's hearing. You have things like this from CNN. John Roberts wrote 3 cases dissolving the separation of church and state. Will he take another leap of faith? NBC News, a case that could weaken the separation of church and state goes before the Supreme Court. And just so much nonsense. So pick up there, and I want to talk about leveraging the art of...
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
We know all freight is precious, but when the stakes are high, you need a partner who understands what premium care means. At Werner, we specialize in tailored and expedited solutions for industries that demand precision and reliability. From healthcare and pharmaceuticals, expedited solutions for industries that demand precision and reliability. Go to ChooseWerner.com. ChooseWerner.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not an offer. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free.
Hey, XZ.
Straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-978-1515.
I'm good. Good. Just had dinner. Heading home. I got to make a stop on the way home at Kroger, but yeah, it's all good. Hey, good evening. Yeah, long day, but not a hard day. So. Almost everything I did today was an easy fix. So, knock on wood. I hope every day's like this.
Keith Peters in Washington. Today was the National Day of Prayer across the land. President Trump says he's happy to continue to celebrate the National Day of Prayer at the White House.
So this is going to be really 4 years of celebration, so get ready. And we're going to always bring God with us. We're going to bring God to those celebrations. We're not going to forget about God.
Churches across the country also marked the day with observances and prayers. President Trump acknowledges that his tariffs could result in fewer goods and more expensive toys this Christmas. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Even as he vehemently defends his trade policy, the president admitted there could be supply problems come the holidays.
Maybe the children will have
I'm thinking about maybe a poker game tonight.
And maybe the $2 will cost you half a buck more than they
Have you downloaded Poker Stars on the laptop yet?
Tried to defend the president's comment, arguing that dolls made in the U.S. had higher quality than those made in China.
Yes, you probably would be willing to pay more for a better made American product.
Despite White House assurances about the tariffs, there's a cloud of economic uncertainty hanging over retailers and consumers alike.
Oh shit. Yeah, you better get that in, man.
President Trump says he's
You good to do
nominated
that?
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz as the United Nations ambassador, while Secretary of State Marco Rubio would take over.
Yeah, just look for it, and I'll send you the code to get in the group.
Major shakeup of his national security team shortly after news broke that Waltz and his deputy are leaving the administration. administration. Waltz
I don't
had
even
been under
remember what the
scrutiny for
password
weeks
is.
after reporting from The Atlantic that he had mistakenly added the magazine's editor-in-chief to a
I'll
signal
have to ask
chat
somebody.
being used to discuss military plans. On Wall Street, the Dow by 83 points, the Nasdaq rose 264. More at townhall.com.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board.
Oh yeah, it's
Millions
nice.
of
Weather,
Americans like
the
you
temperature's
are joining
nice.
our news
Nice
revolution.
73 degrees.
Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12
It's been raining on and
news
off
brands
all
in
day, but
America.
still,
Even
it's
President
nice
Trump
right
says
now.
it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax shareowner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America.
Well, whatever's there is coming here, so generally what you're having, we're going to get the next day.
Buy
So
or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
Tech stocks saved the markets a boost.
Microsoft and Facebook's parent company drove Wall Street higher after delivering profits for the start of the year that were even bigger than expected. S&P 500 rose 0.6% Thursday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 83 points. It's about 0.2%. The Nasdaq Composite jumped 1.5%. Microsoft soared more than 7%. The software giant reported strong results in its cloud computing and artificial intelligence businesses. Facebook parent Meta Platforms also said AI helped boost its advertising results. Treasury yields rose in the bond market. The yield on the 10-year Treasury climbed to 4.22%. Seth Sutel, New York.
The Trump administration is ending a duty-free exemption on low-value imports from China Friday. For consumers, that'll mean higher prices and delivery delays when the government starts collecting tariffs on every single shipment. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
There's a growing expense eating into your company's profits. It's your cloud computing bill. You may have gotten a deal to start, but now the spend is sky high.
I don't see that why that would make somebody mad at you.
Cut your cloud bill in half and improve performance at the same time. Well, if you act by May 31st, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure can help you do just that. OCI is the next generation cloud designed for every workload, where you can run any application, including any AI projects, faster and more securely for less. In fact, Oracle has a special promotion where you can cut your cloud bill in half when you switch to OCI. The savings are real. On average, OCI costs 50% less for compute, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. Join Modal, Skydance Animation, and today's innovative AI tech companies who upgraded to OCI. Offer only for new U.S. customers with a minimum financial commitment. See if you qualify for
I get it, man.
at
I get it.
oracle.com/patriot. That's oracle.com/patriot.
I haven't seen my brother in over a year. I just saw my sister in February for my oldest son's not bachelor party, but baby shower. She looked good. She seems like she's finally happy. But yeah, there's no animosity. It's just we're all living our own lives. For sure.
So I went to them and said, look, we got to get rare earth. They have great rare earth, meaning certain minerals, materials. They have things that...
So I guess they signed the mineral deal in Ukraine. That's
and
cool.
We made a deal today where we get, much more in theory
bit rarer than some of the earth we have around here. The deal's done, right? So we got the Ukrainian deal done. That the pestilent child, Zelensky, when he carried out and went through his little scene, that he ended up not going through.
Hey, Toe, what is up, buddy?
White House visit with the president. Well,
You see the short I put out?
I'm going to talk about leveraging the art of the deal and what comes next.
On the main channel?
In just a bit. Brian Mudd in for Mark Levin. Mark, he is still in the Holy Land. He will be back this weekend for Life, Liberty, and Levin, of course, all next week. Now, just before the end of the second hour, I was talking about the Supreme Court non-existent.
Yeah, look at the Indoctrination Live channel.
I
Put out a short about just a quick one. I've requested everything. I requested the body cams of all the deputies out there and the dash cam of the first deputy that came out there that was trying to blow it off.
And you have the whole narrative about separation of church and state out there. You get these headlines from all of your godless souls and slanderous news videos. Separation, church and state, Supreme Court, they might weaken it again. I just want to arm you informationally with what's real in this situation. So when you get into, things like, here's another headline from Slate. The Supreme Court seems to think the separation of church and state is anti-Catholic bigotry. Okay. The headlines, the pretext behind them, suggest that these people have never read the Constitution, but they pretend to be able to report on it, or they're just really intellectually dishonest liars. And in fact, every person who has ever said that there is a constitutionally mandated separation of church and state is either...
I wanted to drop a full video, but I want to integrate all those body cams and stuff into it, so I'm going to wait.
Event does not exist within the Constitution. So just kind of take you through this real quick. What's commonly referred to as the first reference to the separation of church and state came well after the country's founding. It was in 1802 when Joe Biden was just a young pup. I think Joe Biden, 1802. I think he was still. I think he was still in school at that point. Don't forget his law degree. Yeah. But anyway, it was in 1802 when Thomas Jefferson stated that the government should make no law.
And I think this may go deeper than just the bullshit with that dude that was doing that. I think that deputy may have been trying to obstruct justice. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna do some investigation on this. You tried to blow off the wrong person, basically. There you are too. Yeah. Look out to the west here, to the right. Yeah, we're getting it again too. I'm trying to get home before it hits.
Okay, so when you don't have the Constitution, is it an edict that, hey, you gotta have church way over there? Well, we got the state over here. None of that. That was an invented characterization advanced by secular interest groups based on a false premise. The premise of atheism also rejected. The context is always key in discussing these things and many without
up, but either way, we're gonna find out.
To me, that of course, religion and government, they can't intersect.
I don't want to hang anybody out to dry that generally does a good job and stuff like that. But when you try to fuck with me and just try to let shit like that go, I mean, I have called the cops a total of, one time in the last 10 years, and that was it.
An official religion of the United States, a la the Church of England. So that
only because I thought I was underpowered. All I had was my Berna, and I believe that guy pulled out a handgun. And he did have a handgun, because the cop even told me he had a CCW. So I knew that's what he pulled out. Even if he didn't legitimately brandish it.
To God within the Declaration. The first reference is within the first sentence. to assume among
Well, yeah, that's going to be a problem because he tried to blow off the call.
an equal station.
And I believe he knows who it was. I'll find out. I'm going to find out. I mean, they have to give up the public records. And I'm going to make a thing of it if they don't. So, like I said, I put in the request last night. Only thing I didn't have was the CAD number or anything because they told me it wasn't available, which is bullshit. As soon as they get a call, CAD numbers were created. So, he already lied to me. This seems like road rage. I'm like, who? Between who? I wasn't raging at anybody. I was just driving.
And the fourth reference is also one that is generally widely known. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes,
And to be honest, I'll reach out to that guy and say, hey.
The country was founded on the principle that our rights are God-given as opposed to government-given. It's what historically has actually made the United States different than the rest of the world.
If you were just having a bad night and just freaked out, that's one thing. Because I believe he started thinking about it later on. That's why he put the gun away and put his hazards on and all that crap. I don't know. If not, fuck him. Let him burn, but... I mean, he obviously lives somewhere around me. If he was heading in the same direction. I'm gonna I already know the VIN number of his truck. I know where he bought that truck. I don't even know his name, but I know all that. Here, I'm gonna leave the Mark Levin show. It's not Mark this week because he's in Israel, but
no such thing as separation.
I'm gonna run in, grab
what there is a mandated religious
some snackies for dinner, and I'll be right back.
You are free to worship.
For late night snackies. I'm gonna leave the car on. Be right back, guys.
For those reasons, that the United States Supreme Court, in order to uphold the Constitution, will and must rule in favor of the Catholic charter school in Oklahoma. And that case in particular, I mean, it'll be an interesting tell. This is an open and shut case constitutionally. You're going to really see what that court is made of with those justices and how they end up voting. You'll see just the extent to which people can be anti-American. I'll try to be cautiously optimistic, but based upon the way the hearing went, you could hear skepticism from some of the usual suspects on that court. All right, so let's talk about the art of the deal, leveraging the art of the deal, and what we're getting into here. So, Trump, these tariffs, the trade deals, all this stuff coming together. You have the clip where he's talking about the rare earths, Ukraine, that deal getting done. Maybe you read art of the deal, maybe you haven't. I think maybe by now, Xi Jinping's gotten around to it. We know, for example, that Little Rocket Man, we know that even North Korea's Little Rocket Man at least had the book delivered to him. Remember Dennis Rodman, he delivered a copy of The Art of the Deal from his first term to Little Rocket Man. Something that continues to confound me is the extent to which world leaders are so dense. It's a few questions for you. One, if you punch Donald Trump, what is Trump going to do? You punch Trump, what's going to happen? Second question, if you retaliate against Donald Trump, what's he going to do? Third question, if you come to the table seeking a deal with him, if you put your hand out to Donald Trump, what is he going to do? Now, you don't need to be a world leader, or at this point, even a person who has read The Art of the Deal, to know the answers to the questions are, one, he's going to hate you harder. Two, he's going to retaliate harder. And three, if you put your hand out, the man will negotiate. Now, the lugheads and leadership of countries and various institutions still, in so many respects, have proven they don't get this. And it's remarkable to me that after having had him as president for 4 years already, somehow or another, in the 79th year of his life, they thought Trump was going to start doing things differently, or that, this should be a surprise. So you remember back to the Oval Office meeting with Zelensky when it turned south, and Zelensky became indignant. And Trump looked at him and said, look, you don't have the cards, right? You don't have the cards. Now, if Trump were some tin pot dictator from a third world country or something just about as irrelevant, say like the Prime Minister of Canada, for example, I mean, yeah, things would be different, because in that instance, you would not have the cards. You would not have the cards. But they're not in that position, right? Because, A, the U.S. economy is the top economy in the world. Inherently, no other country has the cards that we have. In fact, did you know the U.S. economy is almost double the size of the entire Eurozone? U.S. economy is almost double the entire Eurozone. B, even if other countries had economies that could compare to ours, they would still come out net losers going toe-to-toe with us in tariffs, because they're the countries that benefit most from trade. There are 195 countries in the world. I referenced this on Tuesday. How many do you think we have trade surpluses with? 195 countries. How many do we have trades? The answer is 5. 5. We have trade surpluses with Australia, Hong Kong, Central, and a couple countries, Central South America, and the Netherlands. That's it. That means that in an eye-for-eye situation, the U.S. would come out the biggest loser only 5 times compared to 190 times for other countries. And so, on that note, it takes you to the point of negotiation. I'll pick up there next. Brian Mudd, in for the great one.
Mark Levin. When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/news right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter.com/news. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/Patriot, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/Patriot. That's hims.com/patriot for your free online visit. HIMS.com/PATRIOT.
At Meineke, doing car care right means our Meineke certified technicians fix whatever your car needs. We fix it right and back it up with nationwide warranties. Brakes? We do that. Tires? Yep, we do that too. Engine repairs, air conditioning, tune-ups, suspension, alignments, oil changes. We do it all. Visit Meineke.com today and schedule an appointment. Each Meineke is independently owned and operated. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right. Investors and 1031 exchangers. Market volatility is off the charts. Are you ready for steady tax-sheltered monthly income with high potential upside, all tax-sheltered through 1031 exchanges? Then you should consider the Icon America High Yield DSTs with cash flow starting at 7.5%. Icon targets the much undersupplied lower income housing and student housing. Icon America DSTs are diversified across multiple states in Utah, Florida, Ohio, Maryland, Georgia, Brooklyn, New York, and more. In-place cash flow is 7.5%, with 10-year interest-only loans at 4.25%. Plus, adding washers and dryers and other value add can drive rental growth. 800-580-1031.
All right.
2007, Icon's paid out over $75 million in distribution.
Hey, someone, good to see you. Been a minute. Ooh, about to see some fire once I get over this bridge. Look how bright this sun's gonna be, the sunset. Wow. Oh, it's hidden behind the clouds. You can see the sun shielded, filtered. An old Kroger. It's Waterville, man. It's not old. Oh, the dude's taking a picture of this sun. That dude in the street there was taking a picture of the sun, filtered behind those clouds. That's actually a decent picture to take. Once I get around here where I can get a good view of it.
So that is the senator representing MS-13 members. That is Mr. Van Hollen from Maryland, everybody, who enjoys time. In El Salvador. Now, a couple things about that situation. One, that's a tough one. We're all going to have to just take down our El Salvadorian vacations. But it is spectacular that they're doubling and tripling down on this particular man, this particular narrative. Now, I mentioned earlier that this became a 94% issue. The one poll that I have seen that asked the question specifically of Americans who support the Trump administration deporting violent Venezuelan gang member, who comes in 94%. Let's do that. And got to give the man credit for doubling down on this situation. It's going to work out great for you, man. But yeah, that's tough. Going to have to cut back on our El Salvadorian travel plans for now. Okay, so talking about about Trump's part of the deal in trade, and actually ended up getting a great question that came in. Trump will also often talk about like trade deficits and that being a bad thing. You'll have some people, including some economists, that go,
I'm about the same distance away from home as last night when I encountered a crazy road rager. So let's pray.
the GDP, if you have imports, they subtract that from the GDP.
6 minutes from home.
If you have exports, things that we are sitting outside this country, that adds to the GDP.
Well, that sun went from
So
up there in the
without
sky to
getting
gone.
deeper into the, well, it's a good or a bad thing. I mean, obviously, the federal government, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, thinks it's a bad enough thing that if we import stuff more than we export, they subtract that from the GDP. They subtract that from the growth rate of our economy. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, Rager.
At a base level explain.
Hey, someone, did you see my short I put out on my main channel? Oh shit. Looks like HR is firing somebody. They're emailing me. Here we go. All right, you let me go.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Guess what? You know, that's like normal with what a lot of countries do to us in many different product categories because they just want to keep our companies out. So anyway, that is part of how, you know, having these imbalances is not a good thing. So again, here we are, the world's largest.
It's a village.
We have.
It's still small enough to be called a village.
We do trade with the world. We have trade deficits about. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. Pick this up. Next, Brian Mudd into the Great One.
Sometimes bad things happen to good cigars. Not at Famous Smoke Shop. Unlike the other guys, we take pride in how we store, pack, and ship our cigars. We've been family owned since 1939, so we know what it takes to make a great smoke and a great experience. Visit FamousSmoke.com for thousands of premium cigar brands, fresh and ready to ship from our climate-controlled 20,000 square foot humidor. Every order is backed by our Famous Freshness Guarantee. Check it out now at FamousSmoke.com and use promo code FREE20. That's FREE20, and we'll take $20 off your order of $99 or more. Our cigar experts make sure you get the best deals on the best cigars, so every smoke is your best smoke. If you want an OK cigar, you go to your neighborhood OK Cigar Shop. If you want the best cigar, you go to Famous Smoke Shop. That's FamousSmoke.com. Get real cigar.
Population of the White House, Ohio.
In 2023, the population of White House was 5,063.
There you go, 5,063.
Brownie.
Oh, sorry, just seeing this. Not really, food maybe, but it's probably too late, which is fine. We have stuff here. I got long drinks. Do you want to reply?
No.
Okay.
Award-winning dark chocolate chip brownie that beat world-renowned chef Bobby Flay. All of our brownies are baked in Vermont using local farm-fresh ingredients and rich Belgian chocolate. And every Vermont brownie gift is shipped free in beautiful Mother's Day packaging.
Yeah, but it's a good place to do cop watching, right, Toe?
VermontBrownie.com. That's VermontBrownie.com. Don't wait.
Hey, Toe, go to Broadcastify.com on a browser and do the, the listen, and then click on Lucas County. They have the combined, it combines everything, Lucas County, Toledo's, both regions of Toledo. It includes Perrysburg, Rossford, Walbridge, Lake Township, everybody. It's pretty cool. And it actually, it's live. It's not delayed at all. When you scroll down, don't go all the way down to where you're picking the different channels. There's like 2 of them available. The second one is usually the one, it literally does fire and everything. That's what we're going to use.
15,000 5-star reviews from customers like you who want to drink with confidence. Visit aquasana.com today and use promo code SXM to get up to 50% off select systems. That's AQUASANA.com. Promo code SXM for up to 50% off. Aquasana, a healthier you starts with healthier water.
We planned our investments well for retirement, but I wish we had more cash. Don't they know they're sitting on a gold mine?
Yeah, I will.
They
I'll
don't
send
know
it to
that
you,
if
buddy.
own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It actually shows you how many seconds they're broadcasting. You can click and replay it. It's really cool. I just discovered it a couple of weeks ago. I was like, man, this is nice. That's why whenever I did a couple of those streams, it said all area. Some mail here. A little bit of mail. Dude, that short has over 650 views already. And I posted it at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Check out the short on my main channel, guys. Give it a like, comment, whatever. Love you guys. I may go live tonight. We'll see how tonight goes. I'm pretty much coasting tomorrow, so me and the wife are gonna get a little party on. I will say hi to Miss Doc. I will. Love you guys. Peace.